Senator, good afternoon to you, and thank you for your time here.
Good afternoon, Bill.
You heard Harry Reid, or if you did not hear him, he was rather strident. He does not like this House deal at all. Where are we with 30-some-odd hours to go?
Let me just say, Bill, I think that Harry Reid just overplayed his hand, because to call what they're talking about right now extreme, think about it. The Speaker of the House is proposing a plan that actually moves off of defunding Obamacare, a strategy that I didn't think could succeed. And now he's proposing things that already have gotten votes in the Senate. The medical device tax repeal has gotten a vote in the Senate of over 79 senators. And thinking about adding on to it, treating us and members of the cabinet the same as everyone else under Obamacare. So I think that's something that should be considered in the Senate, brought up. I could support it. And I think that Harry Reid, to shut it down without even considering it, is, again, overplaying his hand when the Speaker is now acting. And I do hope the House does get its act together and send something over. I mean, we've been waiting for it, and it has not happened. That's why I've been in discussions to try to resolve this as well.
Yeah, and we know, actually, Senator, that you have been one of the architects. You and your fellow senators, Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, have all gotten together and come up with a plan that you think is workable. Do you fear that one of your own senators, say Ted Cruz, would try to derail with perhaps a filibuster the progress you've made?
Well, that's always possible. I hope that doesn't happen, because we know that we've got to get, obviously, the government open. We have to deal with the debt ceiling. But we also proposed some changes to Obamacare that both sides have agreed on, including a repeal of the medical device tax and making sure that the BCA numbers stay in place.
That
giving flexibility to flexibility to agencies, though, so they can better manage it. And I think that we've got to get this done. The American people are tired of looking at both sides, and they're saying, get some results now. So I'm glad to see the House acting, and that's why I was disappointed to see Senator Reid just dismissing it out of hand and saying, instead of saying, good, they're acting, let's move something, let's get this done and get this resolved for the American people.
Do you think Harry Reid was speaking on his behalf or on the president's behalf? And as you answer that, do you believe the president is trying to break the backs of Republicans in the House?
Well, I believe that Harry Reid, the president, as I understand it, the White House came out with a similar statement. So I don't know if he's speaking on behalf of the White House, but I know this. Certainly, I didn't support the defunding strategy because I worried this is where we would end up. We wouldn't be able to deliver a result. I do think at this point that the president is overplaying his hand. It was an ill-conceived strategy, but we got an immature response. So it's time for everyone to get it together, to get it resolved. And I think to see Harry Reid dismiss this House plan just automatically isn't the right thing to do. That it's time to let the House, if they can pass something, let's get it done. If the Senate has a different proposal, let's conference them and get a result.
Understood about the Senate and Harry Reid, but do you think the president is trying to break the backs of Republicans and John Boehner in the House and split that vote?
Well, I think that by dismissing it out of hand, he's obviously saying again that he doesn't want to negotiate, and I don't think that's a reasonable position, Bill.
And Senator, you just said that you never really supported the defunding proposition. So now it doesn't seem as though Republicans have been able to defund or dismantle or even delay Obamacare. Right. Was all of this messiness worth it?
Well, let me just say the reason I didn't support it is because I fully support repealing Obamacare. But I didn't see how we would get it done. And by the way, as evidenced by the fact that the government shut down and the exchanges opened, and we've seen the flaws in those exchanges. So I didn't think the strategy was one that we could win on. Yes, I'm concerned about where we are as a result of it. So it's time for us to find issues like the medical device tax repeal, make sure that we can not keep the budget caps in place, not spend more money because the Democrats are pushing it, with some flexibility for agencies. We got to get to those core issues right now where we can get a result for the country.
Yes, absolutely. Senator Ayotte, thanks so much for taking the time today. We appreciate you giving us the update on where you are with this plan.
Appreciate
and everything.
it.
Thanks so much.
Some high drama.